Mister, you'll be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live.
I am.
You are live. You go to your page, you're there. Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, and you're live. Okay, so you are live. You go to your page, you're there. Yeah, but if you have Facebook open, you gotta lower the volume, otherwise it's gonna drive us both crazy.
Okay, done.
Okay. All right. So this is your gig. I'm just here to be your co-host. What do you? At first, it was an honor to sit with you and do this virtual career fair to all these new agents, seasoned agents, semi-seasoned agents, anybody and everybody that loves you, respects you, and follows you.
Well, yeah. The idea is like we were talking about. The idea is like I have so many agents that they are wondering what's going on with these changes. We are getting technological. We are going to go back to normal. How am I going to get in contact with my customer? How am I going to get started now? Because for the new agent, there is the things that they all believe that whatever it is used to work before now is all new. And so they're all trying to get a better idea how to get started. And for seasoned agent, a lot of them I had conversation and I feel like discouraged because they feel like everything is changed and they were not ready because it's changed too fast. And so the idea is, okay, let me just bring in somebody that immediately adapted with the new changes. I know that in Canvas, we changed everything very fast. You were very prompt into encourage everybody and train everybody to move the business from the live one-on-one face-to-face that everybody love, obviously, but for challenges and needs to move into the more technological part. So like I always say, somebody's challenge is going to become somebody else's opportunity. So what are the opportunity we now have with these new challenges? How can we thrive in this business?
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the invite, and for those watching that I haven't had the pleasure to meet before. My name is Ernesto Vega. I'm a real estate broker here in the South Florida space. The name of our company is Canvas Real Estate, but I'm not here to talk about our company. I'm here to talk about our industry and what I see in our industry and how I see our industry going forward. And I'm very thankful for Milko to give me this opportunity and this podium to sort of reach out as many people as possible and share my humble ideas. So I've been in this industry for now 27 years. I started very young. I'm not that old. I just started very, very, very young. And I opened our company exactly on May 2001. So we opened the doors in May 2001, and then September 11 happened. So we had to grow through that change. And at the same time, we were already a growing brand during the 2009, 2010 correction. And we had to adapt our business going forward. So what Milko wanted me to do is share with you a couple of tips on ideas and things you can do to stay in business. If you just got licensed, congratulations. It's not the end of the world. That's not the end of the world. You can quote me on this one, and you can find me later and tell me that I was right or I was wrong. Real estate is going to lead the recovery in our economy, and our economy it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly for the next 2 quarters, no matter what anybody else tells you. Our economy it's gonna be ugly, but we were expecting that. But out of that ugliness, you're going to see a resurgence and a resilience. And I truly believe that real estate is going to lead the way going forward. What you got to understand is that the economic contraction that we are experiencing, it was not a real estate related economic contraction. It was a pandemic that created this, and a lockdown procedure that created this economic contraction. Prior the first quarter of this year, and if you read all the reports coming out, first quarter of this year, we had a 4.5% growth in prices. Volume was up. I mean, everything was moving along. Then we all went into lockdown, and our economy has paused. But that doesn't mean that it will not come back in a different way. For those that are a little bit seasoned, they have been around like Milko. I know that September, you can remember how the world was before September 11, and how things, and when I mean things, I mean procedures and securities and protocols change after September 11. So we are still on the pandemic, so we're still not out. Although South Florida is open. Before this call, I was speaking to a group in Colorado, and Colorado is still in full lockdown. Colorado, there's nothing open except supermarkets. So once we're out of this, there will be new steps and procedures and things that will guide how business and how as a society we move forward, but we're still in the nitty gritty of it. The difference was that if real estate agents like yourself listening to me, we were deemed essential business by the governor, so we literally never had to shut down. A lot of companies shut down. We reduced operations to a bare minimum, but we maintain operations. So if you just got licensed, you're actually in a better position than someone like me or Milko, who got accustomed to doing things certain ways, and now we got shaken up and we got to learn how to do things a different way. But if you just got your license, hey, you don't know any different. This is what you're gonna learn, and this is what you're gonna do, right, Milko?
That is actually so crazy, because I always say, it's like the difference between learning to play an instrument from scratch, never know anything about playing an instrument, and maybe how to learn to play an instrument, maybe a guitar by ear, and then you want to get a classical or formal education, and then you go and you have to change everything, because nothing is not the way you're used to do. And this has changed. It's funny that you actually said September 11. I was in New York City in September 11. I was an agent in New York City in September 11. And it wasn't so radical like it is now, but it definitely makes a difference. And the fact that the new agent is starting now, they're starting now with a new way to do it. And it's, I believe it's actually, they're gonna have to learn a way to do the business. So any new agent that is listening right now, you have to consider one thing. You need to learn everything. You need to learn the technology of the board of realtor. You need to learn the technology of your company. You need to learn the process. You need to have a business plan. And all of this one is getting immediately implemented in your business plan. While for everybody like me and like you or anybody that is doing business for a while, now all of a sudden I have to leave the old way and get started on these new things that they are not used to. And most of people don't like, they are in their comfort zone, and this means coming out of their shell, coming out of the comfort zone, and this is not easy for everybody. Well, anybody that already got a license, they're already out of the comfort zone. They're starting something new.
Exactly. So if you're new and you're listening to me, I'm going to run by you a couple of things that I jot down that have worked for everybody that has gone through our doors. We have about 824 associates that are part of our company. So over the years, we have learned a couple of things of what works and what doesn't work. Now more than ever, you gotta get organized. You truly gotta get organized, and Milko just touched on that. And getting organized right now, it's you gotta embrace a customer relationship management. You gotta embrace a CRM from the start. You gotta build your business the right way, and that means you gotta learn a CRM from the start. You gotta get going on that. Everybody's talking about one of the things that I used to tell my associates is you gotta get business cards. I'm not saying you shouldn't get business cards, but you got to find yourself an affiliation with a company that has sort of your own app and something that you can share without touching, or that you can share a little better. than just a business card. I mean, you should still get business cards, but you gotta look into getting your own branded app and look for a company that has your own branded app that you can use. Another thing is you gotta join a board of realtors, and you gotta get an e-key to show properties. More and more agents don't want to be there at those showings, and if the other agent doesn't want to be at the showing, you're going to have to get access to that property. And electronic lock boxes it's more and more, and now more than ever where it's going. So you gotta get your e-key. You gotta get a professional shot. If you look at Milko's or mine's profile, you notice that we have one of these pictures, and I think mine, I joke, mine is as real as it can get. You got to go ahead and get a professional picture put together. And these are little things that you got to do at the beginning. You got to write a compelling bio. You got to put a biography of who you are, who you were prior to this, and be proud of who you were and what you have done prior to this. Because you more than ever, you want to convey that comfort. Not that you fell from the sky and you're now a real estate professional. If you were in sales selling coffins, you were in sales selling coffins. Be proud of what you have done. I started very young, so I didn't have a previous career. But all of you that I come across and I meet when we interview, you all have illustrious careers and degrees and things that you have done throughout your timeline. Put a compelling bio together that you can share, because something you want to learn, and if you haven't heard this yet, buyers consultations are huge right now, and they're going to be huge from now on. The buyer's consultation is, imagine that Milko is a client that I'm working with. Before I take Milko out there to see property, I'm gonna want to do this: get to know Milko, needs, wants, and if possible, get a lender in the line and get them approved. So you want to have something that you can share with that buyer prior to that, and you want to start putting together a list, the famous sphere of influence list. And I know that a lot of people come to me in Milko and say, "Hey, Ernesto, I don't want to reach my sphere of influence because I don't want to bug them because they're not going to be buyers or sellers." You're not looking to create a sphere of influence list for them to be buyers or sellers. You're looking for people that like you and know you and trust you to share who you are and what you're going to bring to the equation. So that's why one of those things that you got to do is put together a list, a target list of people that so you can introduce who you are, what you've done, and they can be your advertising and your branding. Anything you wanna throw in there, my friend?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you asked me that. I remember one of my first training I took about cold calling and calling the sphere of influence. And I remember that my mentor was like stressing, it's like, why don't you call the sphere of influence? Well, I already called them all. Well, call them again. And in that circumstances, what I was learning is not only the fact that I have to call my sphere of influence, but I actually have to learn how to talk to them about inflection, and verbiage and body language and voice inflection. Sorry. And it was funny because I called people that I knew that they were going to say, "Oh, I know you're a real estate agent. I just wanted to prove my point that this sphere of influence, these people already knew were going to tell me, yeah, I'm going to call you if." And in that section, only got 7 referrals. So this is how important it is to actually do the leap of faith. And mine wasn't really a leap of faith. I actually wanted to prove them wrong. The fact that everybody loved me and everybody that know me, that if they have a referral, they would actually do it. But the way I was newly trained to talk with them, all of a sudden it produced certain referrals. And that made me a huge believer of, first of all, stop with our BS. And as a BS, I talk about belief system. So my BS didn't work. I had to change something. And so definitely, like, this is, you're just nailing right on top of the head of the nail. This is like, that's exactly how it is.
So one of the things that I like to go on with that is, after reaching to your sphere of influence, is, you gotta learn your systems, and whatever company you affiliate yourself, it's gonna have their own CMA systems in place. But it's a great way to look at the sphere of influence, look at those that are homeowners, and as practice for yourself, learn to do a comparative market analysis. And especially in this changing market, a comparative market analysis is gonna be a little bit different. I think more than anything, you want to show people the equity, and Milko, you're going to hear a lot of that going forward. Equity is going to be king when you're doing a comparative market analysis going forward. And if you have 5 people in your sphere that are owners, run a report, and just so you learn how to do a proper report and send it to them. So learning how to do a CMA, it's key. And learning how to use that MLS, it's the most important thing you can do right now, especially since you're going to have to be taking those classes on your own. But learn how to use the MLS, learn how to search for properties, make an appointment for show properties, and go preview some properties. Even by yourself, get yourself in the car, get your significant other in the car, and pick an area that you're interested in doing, right, and learning about, and go toward those homes. Why? So you can get that comfort level on opening a lockbox, walking around a house, looking at the comparables of that neighborhood. So when you are doing this for the first time with a client, you're not panicking, fumbling at the door, trying to open a lockbox, texting Milko, help. Although it's a Saturday night at 7:30 and Milko's enjoying a glass of wine, help, how do I open this door and the lockbox is not opening? You want to do all of these things prior to, so when the time comes, you're ready for it. One thing that everybody always tells me that I advise them to do, and now you can do it virtually, is open houses. Every weekend there is virtual open houses taking place. You can see them on Facebook, you can see them on YouTube. If you don't know how to do one yet, sit there, find them, watch them, listen, look at the body language, look at what they say, look at how they express themselves. So when it's your time to do it, you can go ahead and learn how to do these things. Pick a neighborhood where it's going to become your farm, or even if it's not going to be your farm, an area that you want to work in, learn that neighborhood. Begin to learn the neighborhood more than ever. Milko, I see buyers wanting to work with market experts that are going to add value to them. Someone that, if you're looking at a property in North Miami, they're going to say, hey, in the past 30 days, there's been 20 sales. These are the sales. These is what come new in the market. This is what the price per square footage averages. So I know that you just started and you're like, how am I going to compete with someone like someone that's been in the industry longer? But little by little, expand and expand and expand your knowledge. Anything you want to throw in there, sir?
Well, it's funny you say that. When I teach real estate, this is and we talk about the farming part. It's funny because I always mention, I will never forget the first time I started doing. I came in Miami, so I wasn't new in real estate. I've been in real estate since 1996, but I came back here in Miami back in 2015, so just 5 years ago. So I felt myself to be a seasoned agent that doesn't really need doesn't need to learn any skill on how to open the door. And my first appointment was in Aventura, and I'm showing a condominium in Aventura, and they had a lockbox room. Never heard about a lockbox room. And I go over there, and I'm there with my customer. And so before I go to the door is not there. Call the agent. The key's in the lockbox room. I go to the lockbox room, and I never heard about before. And I find out what it is, because it's a room that when you open, there are about 300, 400, 500 lockbox. Now, how do I find the lockbox of the door I need to open? Call the agent again, and the agent says, the one with my business card on it. Well, the business card and the lockbox has been there for a long time, and sure enough, the business card is now on the floor. Which one is the business card? Which one is the lockbox I have to use so I can open the door? And I can tell you that was like an appointment for like a nightmare. And I always say to the students, and I always say to the agent, you know what? You need to get started with a fundamental. And there is one thing, there is a new agent right now that learn it in the right way, that choose the company that give them the right technology, and give them most important, the right education and the right training. They actually have an advantage, not a disadvantage on everybody else, for the simple fact that they actually learned it right. And I can see how many new agents, and we had them in Canvas, that, so motivated that 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks later, they already had their first contract in. And that is just, it has nothing to do with how many years you've been in the business. It does have nothing to do with the time you are putting into the business, but it has to do with the quality of time you put on a business. What is your intention when you get into, when you are working? Are you actually intending to produce, or you getting lost around looking around? So this, what you say, is just very, very important. And to have a perfect dominion of the market is important, because with the technology we have today, I don't know if you noticed that, but when I talk with customers, they know the market better than I know, because they have been looking at that kind of market for so long. So if it is a customer that is looking for I had a customer from Quito in Ecuador, and by the time she talked to me, she already saw about 500 property on the range of price she was looking for on the site. So she knows the market way better than I do. I have to provide something else, to bring something else on the table if I want to win that customer.
Exactly. You need to become a market expert. No matter what you do, you gotta become a market expert. A couple of things that what I always take a little survey of my agents. What you would have done different if you would have, if you would start all over again. And a lot of them say, I wish I would have either partnered up with somebody or worked with somebody from the beginning, even if it cost me some money up front. But I wish I would have had somebody by my side to prevent the errors from the start. So if you're getting started, it's always a good idea to find a mentor and find somebody that is going to help you guide you through the process, or maybe find a company that provides a coaching program and take advantage of that. Orientations, if your company's orientation or the board of realtors orientation, it's things that you can do because you gotta learn as much as possible. And you keep touching on tech. 4 years ago, that's one of the things that I'm so happy that my team will help me create. So 4 years ago, we began to build our own tech platform. And the idea was, I said, listen, guys, I want the entire business to be here. Although we have 7 offices, decked out to the T's, and we have everything, I want the agent to have the availability to, and I say it jokingly, I want you to have the availability to walk into a property with a customer, have them already, send them a link to get pre-approved, get approved, and they're interested. I want them that with their left hand and their thumb, they can fill out a contract. So if the customer is interested in that property at that moment when the emotions are running high, so you to be able to say, Milko, is this the one you like? And Milko says, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I like it.
So Milko, if this is the one you like, I just emailed you a contract so you can e-sign, so we can present it an offer right now, so we don't lose this property. And I wanted that 4 years ago, and I'm so thankful that by the time this year rolled out with the challenges that it brought on, we had already the tech in place to do that. So tech, it's not that it's important, it's huge now more than ever. Not in an industry, but in every industry, tech is going to really drive our market. A couple of other things that that you gotta do, and especially now that you've been cooked up for so long, is you gotta get motivated. And Milko's a great motivator. I bet you if you call him, he'll pump you up every morning. You gotta get motivated, and you gotta get going every morning. This is an industry, you're in sales, either you're in real estate sales or any other sales. Listen, I love real estate sales because we have no inventory. And I don't mean that we're selling, we have our 600 homes for sale, but inside our offices, we have no inventory. We have no product that is costing us money to keep. You're becoming a salesman for something that you're not paying to keep. If you're selling cars, you got to pay for that inventory. If you're selling laptops, you're paying for that inventory up front. You're selling something where you have no inventory. So you gotta learn to get motivated every morning. And if you need help, we have a coaching call, very short, 3 times a week, just to get everybody going. So find somebody that has that. You need a budget. You got to remember that you're going into a business that you're going to partner up with a broker like myself or anybody else out there. You need to understand that you're in business for yourself. So you need to create a budget for that first year of what you're going to invest in you and your brand, and then whatever tools are going to generate business for you. You want to find a broker that's going to guide you the right way. There's a lot of stuff being offered for sale right now in social media and in emails, and no matter what social media channel, about the secret sauce or the magic pill that is gonna boom, make your career a success. I'm gonna tell you today that there isn't such a thing. If it was, me and Milko would already found it, right? The only secret sauce is work, ethical work. There's no other way around it, right, sir?
Absolutely. And you touch on a couple of points that for me are very important. I work with different companies, and I haven't had the possibility to tell you that yet. But what you've been doing in this recent few days, in the recent couple of weeks, is something that for me was really, really important. Somebody on the chat group, Christina, would say, how do I choose the right company? Is the right company the one that is more personable? And and I'm, me, I have to call the things the way they are, right? And personable in the beginning, they're all personable. The point is, who's going to put you on the scoreboard? And I remember when I worked with a company that finally introduced me with a calling or a contacting, the sphere of influence and everything. And I felt these things, this block didn't see, it wasn't something natural. It wasn't on my chords to actually do that. And I kept asking, can you just show it to me how to do it? Because, brain doesn't understand if I doing it or you doing it. What it is as soon as I see how to do it, it's easier to reproduce. And we thought that, maybe I have to be perfect. If my tone is not perfect, my voice is not perfect, if my pitch is not perfect, if my camp presentation is not perfect. And I really, really, really appreciate to see you going live in front of all your agents and say, hey, let's make a call. We are going to call a for sale by owner. And the best things that could happen to you was to have technical issues. And I know it was frustrating you, and you were there. This is like, and I was here, I'm like, you need to leave your Apple away. You need to get a PC. And I was joking with you and everything. But what it really came on the other side that for me was really paramount. And this is what I can tell to all the new agent or anybody that never done that before is, you know what, when you see somebody else is doing it, and when you realize that not every time everything is perfect, and you know what, it's okay not to be perfect. It doesn't matter. What it does matter is to just go and do it. Motivation is very important. You say, wake up early in the morning and be motivated. One day somebody says, motivation will wear out because it comes from outside. Somebody's motivating you. Inspiration, it will stay because inspiration comes from inside. And if you are inspired to do this business, if this is really what you want to do, and I talk with a lot of agents, some of the agents that I talk with and end up joining the company, but that is always my first question. Why are you joining? Why are you want to do real estate? Is this one something you just want to do it? Probably this is not the right fit. But if you don't have any other option, then you will succeed. Because if you want to make $100,000 or $200,000 a year, you need to do what everybody else that make $100,000 or $200,000 a year may do. You cannot just stay home and do, well, I'm going to sell a couple of programs, I'm going to make that kind of money. It doesn't work like that. You have to be willing and able to put the effort and to put the work.
And for those of you listening that are newer or even seasoned, stop fighting. Use your strength. Use your strength to shape your brand. Your brand, who you are as a real estate professional. And what I mean by that is if you're techie and you embrace tech to the next level, and you can then really focus, find a company that brings that tech to you, so you can harness those tools to their success. If you are a great communicator and you're better talking and presenting ideas, and tech is not your thing, then find somebody to partner with and help you and work together. You got to use what you have, what your previous life has brought to you. If you have great phone skills, if whatever you have done in the past, that's what you got to bring into this field. It's there, and like Milko was saying, there is no secret sauce. It's technically hard work, but I can tell you that having been doing this for 27 years, literally the only career that I have ever had. If you're looking to make a career out of this industry, is a living example. I'm not smarter than you, and I'm more educated than you. The only difference is that I found my inspiration 27 years ago, and I have stuck to that inspiration going forward. But you got to understand, at the end of the day, like Milko was saying, the whole idea is to close and make money. So you gotta invest on what you're doing, or you gotta partner up with somebody that's if you don't have the money to generate leads, because at the end of the day, it's generating leads. You got to find somebody that partner with a broker that is going to help you get those leads. And if you really want to go to the next level, my group in the mornings is called List to Thrive. It's not List to Last, it's List to Thrive, because I truly believe, and that's what I was in my former life when I was an agent 20 plus years ago, is listings. It's always been about success, about controlling the business. And now in this new environment, more than ever, listings is truly gonna be what's gonna drive you. You gotta be persistent, like Milko was saying. In one of my sessions, we had some tech difficulties, and then we had some phone difficulties, and I still push through. I still presented my idea. I still make my phone calls. I still spoke to customers. So you gotta be persistent. You cannot take a no. I mean, you're in sales, so no, it's not. It's not even. It shouldn't be in your vocabulary. No, it's not in your vocabulary. And I believe that all of you that are new and listening, you're gonna have an advantage going forward, because this pandemic, I think, is really gonna change the playing field a lot. Because old timers are like, we're gonna have to adapt, my friend. We're gonna have to adapt and learn and do things in ways that we never done. That they're gonna learn how to do. And I'll tell you what I mean about that. So when I started in this field, the MLS was a book that was delivered to every office every Friday. So every Friday, a courier from the Board of Realtors showed up and delivered a book with the MLS, with the inventory of that week. At that moment, the MLS rolled out as a DOS-based program. At that moment, the MLS came out as a DOS-based program. Being as young as I was, and understanding a little bit of computers, I immediately ran to that system. I ran to the MLS to learn how to use it in DOS. And a lot of people around me said, "What are you doing? What are you learning to do something when you have a book delivered to your hands every day?" So fast forward 20 some years, right now you have out of artificial intelligence determining who are possible sellers available to yourself. You have artificial intelligence built into CRMs that communicates with your client based on their engagement on your website and on their searching preferences. That it changes the communication, it changes what it sends out. That is all fantastic, but that has to be managed by someone like you. So if tech is not your thing, look to the guy next to you, and if he's techie, partner up, build solid relationships so you can really make a change on this field that you're joining.
Well, there is a couple of things, you know, it's one of the things that was a big problem for me was going through the process to grab the telephone and actually start dialing the telephone. And, you know, it was, I remember like initially when I started making call, in 2 hours, maybe I end up talking with 7, 8, 10, 15 people when I was really, really lucky. And if I can give a suggestion to agents that try that and they felt like the same way I used to feel, what I found is my solution was a dialer. And when they suggested to me, I was a little skeptic. And then what it did, it was more like psychological. I didn't feel like I was calling them. I feel like they were calling me. So I put my headset. The dialer eventually would warn me that I had a caller on the line. And that was different because I didn't dial, I didn't put the number in it, I didn't wait for the telephone to ring, I didn't have that anxiety that say, okay, now they're going to answer what I'm going to say. And nothing. The dialer just say, John Smith is on the phone, and I just look at the address and off I go. And that was my breakthrough. So that is the things. Let me ask you a question, because I know some agents are new.
There's a lot of questions that I see coming in. If you wanna shoot some of those my way, it will be great.
That's it. So one question I wanted to forward you was, if you are an agent and you are going to an interview with a broker, what question do you think you're supposed to ask to your broker? Because they're going to tell you everything they want to tell you, obviously. But on the other side, what questions should they ask? What should they need to know in order to choose to understand if that is the right company for them?
Okay, so this one's gonna get me in trouble, but I'm gonna say it. The first question you should ask is, are you a competing broker, or do you have a team within the office that is a competing team?
Bingo.
Right? That is the first question you got to ask before they even offer you a cup of coffee. If you're going to work, and think about it, if you're going to compete against me, it's going to be very hard to compete against me. If you go into a listing presentation and you're a newer agent and you did your work and you showed up and you did everything right, and I walk in right after you in that listing presentation, who's going to get that listing? The agent or the broker owner of the company? So the first question to ask is what are you a competing broker? No, I'm not. Do you have a team that is a competing team within the industry, within the office? That is, the first question you got. Second question you got to ask is, show me your technology. And show me your technology is not show me a website. A website is great, but you gotta see what customer relationship management they have in place, what automated marketing they have in place. What technology they have to find leads for you. You want to find out what tech they have implemented in place to help you automate your business, because you're trying to do as much as possible with those 10 hours a day. And yes, in real estate, you don't work, that myth that you're going to show up you're going to start working at 10 and then at 3 o'clock, you're going to be and you're playing golf in Aventura. That's not true. I have never had that luxury. I'm up at 5 every day. The ones that are watching know me. I'm up at 5 every day. And the ones that work for me know that they get emails from me at all hours of the day. So question number one is, are you a competing broker? Question number two is, what technology do you have that can help me expedite my business? Question number three is, what training is in place? What training is in place? Question number four is, is there a coaching program or a mentoring program within the organization in the event that I wanna take advantage of that? And then, take it from there. Did that answer your question?
That did. The other question I would like to ask you is, talking about technology, what do you think they are the most important piece of technology that the agent should find on the company, or the agent should learn first once they get started? Because they're going to come, and some company have a lot of technology. So once they have all this technology, where they're going to get started? What is the first thing supposed to do? Should I start from the social media? Should I start from learning the MLS, which is in our case, it would be Matrix? Where would you suggest them to get started?
So there's three things in my opinion that you got to start with and get familiarized and master as soon as possible. You need an e-signature platform that can give you the availability to draft contracts from your phone, be able to share offers from your phone, or be able to load documents, send to the other agents, send to your office. So you gotta learn a company that you gotta join a company that has that in place. We do. So that is key one. Two, social media, and I don't care what people say. The social media, it's huge now more than ever, right? Because social distancing guidelines are in place, so social media is something you need to use. However, you need to use it properly to create a brand. You need to make sure that you have a brand in place, because if you're looking, if you're working with a buyer and that buyer says, you know what, let me research Milko, let me see what I come across, this guy that's going to help me make the largest purchase in my house, which is a house. You want to make sure that they find you and they find you as a professional. So we have an integrated social media component that all of our inventory as a Canvas agent, you have the ability to share that with it and automatic, and you can have it share daily, weekly, monthly. It runs automatic. So you gotta learn social media, but social media in the business way, and you gotta find a good customer relationship management, a good CRM that is easy to learn, but that you use daily. Ours, for example, has a built-in business plan. I like how Milko says how much money you want to make every year. So ours literally asks you that question: how much money you want to make every year? I'm going to make $100,000 this year. Fantastic. To make $100,000 a year based on the market, this is what you have to do daily. So when you open it daily, because once again, remember I said I wanted to take everything to the phone. You want to make it tells you, okay, today you got to speak, not leave voicemails. That doesn't count. You got to speak to 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, and these are the people from your CRM that you should be calling today. So CRM, e-signature platform, and a social media integration that makes you look like you're a rock star, although you got your license yesterday.
I had a conversation a few months ago with a specialist that she's phenomenal, and later on, guys, I can even give you the contact of this lady. I think she's one of the best lady I ever been to a training to for social media. And one of the things is she was using a social media integration that we use on our company. And so this is something I think it's important. I don't know if you realize that, but tools like CirclePix, a lot of companies use it, but all the leads that they are coming from CirclePix, because it's given from the company, they're going to the company. So I remember when I look at that one, it says, hold on a second, you got the lead? Like in her company, she doesn't get the lead. It goes straight up to the company, and then the company distribute it. So one thing that I think I would add on what we're talking about, and a question you probably want to ask to your to the person that is interviewing you is, once the lead are generated, are they coming to me, or they're going to go where? Now, Christina was asking,
we use CirclePix. So CirclePix is the way we have it set up. It synchronizes with your CRM. So whatever lead you capture, it goes strictly into your CRM. I saw a couple of questions. I don't know if there were questions or comments regarding KW. No, we're not KW. We're an independent brand. We're an independent company. And Milko, you don't know this because this just came out. But there's going to be a big announcement. We were just recognized as number 182 largest in production independent brokerage in the United States.
Oh.
Not franchise, not part of NRT, not part of any of these big mega conglomerates that are funded by investment funds. We are locally raised and grown. So we're the number 182nd largest independent by production company in the country. That just came out in Real Trends a week ago. And you're going to see a lot of publicity on that. No, I'm not a
That's
competing.
awesome.
I'm not a. I think there's a question there. If I'm a competing broker, so I am not a competing broker. I do real estate, and if you go into the MLS, you will find. My name is Ernesto Vega. You will find stuff. Everything that you find, it's probably owned by me or one of my entities. I'm an active buyer and seller, just like Milko. So whatever you find, it's either I'm buying or selling myself.
Absolutely. Um, who was Alejandra was asking a really interesting question, and because one of the number one reasons why I joined the company was exactly that one. And my student know that for me, I protect them like my children, and you know that one because that was probably the number one reason I come and join your company. Because where I was personally, I didn't have any problem, but there is the things that not all the company work with new agents, right? So you told me something about mentoring, training a new agent. And it's funny because I'm not a new agent, but that was probably one of the strongest points together with the technology that bought me over. What happened if somebody that never been in real estate just got their license, knock at your door? Are they gonna sit down on the desk waiting for the telephone to ring, or how is this is going to be developing?
So you asking me how does a new agent get started?
Yes, in your company.
Okay, so we're now taking it completely virtual. There's a 4-week program, training program that we do privately. It's not public, where we guide you first. We onboard you in our culture. We onboard you in our technology, and then we take it to what is focused on production. And when it comes to production, we have a couple of different tools. It's part of analyzing what you want to do, what your budget is, and where you're going. If you come to me and you were like me when I started, which is hey, I got 6 months worth of savings and I gotta do this sink or swim. We have lead generating components that will automatically put business in your lap. Of course, there's a cost involved with those, but the cost is minimum. But they're providing leads in your lab. We're gonna train you how to. If we're gonna train everybody that wants to, because like you said, everybody wants to do it, but everybody drops off. And I don't call it cold calling. I call it phone calling. I do call it phone calling because to me, if you want to participate on my next one on Monday, reach out to Milko and we'll invite you to listen in.
What time on Monday?
9:30 to 10. I make calls myself. I don't, so you can hear me mumble fumble. We train you on scripts, on linguistics, what to say, what not to say, and we show you that part of the business. We show you the part of prospecting for business, and that's one of the things. So you go through a training program. Then we have a mentoring program and a coaching program. If you wanna mentor, because for example you come from the medical field and you have a large book of business with you, yet you don't think tech is your thing, you wanna maximize that book of business. We can put you with a mentor that will help you make that business. And if you're self-driven and you're like, you know what, Ernesto, I want to be coach. And remember, to want to be coach is to want to be loved and pushed, because coaching is not just to sit there and listen and say yes, 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 and do nothing. A coach is going to hold you accountable to what your duties are. But if right now Milko was going to hire me to work for him and tell me, Ernesto, your salary is $100,000 a year, I'm going to have to work my 8 hours worth, right, Milko? There's net there that you're gonna maximize your investment in me, and you're gonna have deadlines and things that I gotta get done, right?
You don't make it $100,000 a year working 8 hours a day.
Exactly. So we have like I said, there's an onboarding process, and you can do the onboarding and you can be a self-starter. I mean, I have a lot of people that are self-starters and are willing to do it on their own, and they do it on their own. The more and more I keep telling everybody, your sphere of influence, it's a gold mine. It's a gold mine, and I'm not saying it because there's business in there that you're gonna pick from them. but they're your best referrals. They're technically your best referrals, the best source of business for you. It's those people that know you and already know your character. Were there any other questions, my friend?
I don't see other question. Actually, Milko, how we could get a phone call list as a new sales associate by that I'm student night class.
So every morning, I call it like the bread delivery. Every morning, like back in Italy, the bread was delivered in the morning. Every morning, we deliver to our agents a database of prospects to contact with every phone number associated with that contact. That's one of the things that we provide because we want to make sure that you have, people to call and people to build a book of business from. So we provide that to you every morning. There's other companies that do it. Listen, every company is great. I'm not knocking any other company. We are just different because we're a local real estate company. We are, South Florida is very unique to the rest of this country. And in this recovery, in this economic recovery that we're gonna have, you gotta pay attention to that. South Florida is a very unique place. More and more, we're getting inquiries from Chicago, from New York, for people that are looking to Florida as their destination place. And from Central and South America, which we have huge alliances with brokerages in Central and South America, more than ever, the flight capital. If everybody thinks that no money is going to come to the US from foreign investors, you are wrong. The devaluation in Central and South America has been so enormous that more and more you're going to find that they're looking to make South Florida their safety box for their currency. So our economy, real estate economy, is going to lead the way in a way that it's hard to comprehend.
And I mostly work just with investor. I hardly do any consumers at all. And from hotel to multi-unit, from single family home. And I can tell you, I have a lot of people that are bringing their business here in Florida just because the law are more investor friendly than anywhere else in the United States for investor, if anything. And the cap rate we have, although there are other states that are a little bit probably higher, but the cap rate we can still pull here, it's really interesting. So somebody here says that was asking me to record this one. I will personally repost this one and recast this one on my Facebook. So if anybody has any questions,
I'm saving and I'll put it in YouTube and I'll send it to you.
Oh, perfect.
YouTube. One of the questions that I saw was, can you start part-time? Listen, it's real estate. It's how much time you put into it, how much return you get out of it. If you tell me, Ernesto, I have a job and my plan is within the next 6 months to 9 months to do this full time, then what is your time commitment over the next 6 to 9 months? Can you dedicate solid 4 hours, undistracted 4 hours of work? Because that's what a part-time is, a day to this industry. No, Ernesto, I can only do 2. Okay, so then let's create a business plan of what you need to do on those 2 hours or 4 hours to make sure that your goal is 9 months, I'm gonna quit that job and I'm gonna do this 100%. So then set a deadline to yourself of what is the day, like Milko said, the day to burn the boat and I cannot go back. So, and then start working to that. If it's 2 hours all you have, because we all have a family life and you have another job and you only have 2 hours, then find a broker that has the tools that you can dedicate those 2 hours every day to do it. If it's 4 hours, even better. So just set up a plan, a business plan, a work plan, and listen. You gotta adapt it every week because life changes every week now more than ever. But you need to have something in place that you're gonna be able to follow with that determined goal. Listen, if you tell me, no, Ernesto, I just want a part-time because I wanna pay off my house. I wanna make enough money in real estate part-time just to pay off my house. Fantastic. Now, what are we gonna do? But how much do you owe on your house? So let's break down, let's reduce that to numbers, right? And then let's break that down into average sales price and commissions. So you say, okay, so if I wanna pay my house off in 3 years, this is how many houses I gotta sell in 3 years to be able to pay off my house. So
Perfect.
part-time is great. It's just how many hours are you gonna give them that part-time?
I have one more last question and say, is there a difference between the association? This is a common question. People ask me, should I be realtor associate? Should I join in Broward or in Miami? Is there a difference? There is one better than the other one? What would you say?
Well, when it comes to associations, I'm partisan because I'm a past director of Miami. I was one of the lucky members that was there to help the merger of Miami. Before Miami used to be 3 associations and now it's 1. I was part of that group that merged those associations into what it is today. So to me, Miami is partial. I think they have a great customer service and they've been very proactive in our industry. When it comes to realtor associate, it's just for you to use the little R. If the $150 it's better used for something else at this moment for you, then wait until you renew next year and save those $150 and put them to work for something else. Is not gonna make a difference. When it comes to association, like I said, I'm partial to Miami. Fort Lauderdale is a great association. I have great friends in there. But what you want to do is you want to work smart. If you live in Pembroke Pines, the office is in Sawgrass. Miami has an office in Sawgrass. You want to do that. You want to join that one because otherwise you're gonna have to drive to Fort Lauderdale. So same thing. Pick an office that is close to you and pick an association office because they'll be opening at any moment in time closer to you.
Excellent. Well, I guess if there is no any other question, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. It's something I promised my student before. These are all questions that commonly come up, and I guess this is probably the best way. And having them the opportunity to see me interview, because we didn't prepare that. This is no question you were prepared me to say. And
no, but this wasn't rehearsed. We did not spend last night rehearsing at all. No.
and I know that especially for new agents, but even for people that are no new agents, it's okay. What did I miss on my original interview when I joined my company? I am still not happy. What question should I have asked and I didn't, right? So this is it. I don't see association providing MLS and CRM, etc. Just review the things we talk about. The
association does provide some tools. They're very limited in use. They wanna sell you the upgraded full version. They give you the free trial, so to say, and that free trial it's just for limited access, and then they want to upgrade you. So it's a great way to start, but you want to find a brokerage that has the premium service already included, not that you're gonna start in something and then it's gonna be limited and then you're gonna have to switch to a brokerage and then switch all your data again. You want to set up the right way from the beginning.
If I can add something to that, I can tell you one thing. And I learned this one on one of my previous company I work, and they promise you all these things. And then I find out that their top producer don't use the technology that the company provide. And I figure if the top producer doesn't use that technology, maybe I shouldn't use that technology either, right? So you always want to see what the best in the company, what the best in the market do, and you want to emulate what they do. So if that is not what they use, then probably you need to join or to use some other technology. And my question to you is, does anybody on Canvas use some other technology that you don't provide, or different from a different brand from what you provide, because they thought or they feel that is a better product?
So the thing is that we have a full integration system that enables the associate to sort of work without having to do many things in many different places. For example, we use for e-signature and file management, we use Loop. And we have a premium account, a premium Loop account that gives you not just unlimited loops, it gives you almost 24 hours around the clock support service and all of this good stuff. So the 824 associates in Canvas all use our tech. Not all of them use all of the tech that we have, because we have about 12 components that we brought together. And some people learn how to use 2 things or 3 things, and then they stick to those 2 things or 3 things only. But everybody in Canvas uses what is provided. First of all, because since we have bulk purchasing power, you get to buy this same tech for a quarter of the price that what you will pay for individually. So it makes perfect sense. I mean, if you gotta buy Netflix for $25, and by joining Canvas, I'm gonna give you Netflix for 50 cents, you're gonna say, why am I gonna pay $25 when I can buy it for 50 cents, right?
That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. This was an hour that fly away very, very, very fast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just letting you know, anybody, if you have any other question, feel free and more than welcome to contact me or to contact Ernesto. And if there is any other topic you would like me to organize another meeting with Ernesto or somebody else, whatever it is that you think is going to be helpful for your career, for your business, just let me know. Okay? Perfect. Having said that, thank you so much, Ernesto.
Thank you. I'm going to record this and send it to you.
I appreciate that, so I can recast it. Thank you so
Bye-bye,
much.
everybody.
I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.